Two, one. Good morning, everybody. Oh my God, it's the weather. Don't even need Bozo to stick his head out the top there. You got Lady Hippy at the bar. I wish I could stay here for longer today. I could go to the VA and play. Thank God it's not the one downtown. In any event, we are still having one yucky day for weather. The gray cold is crap and it's wet. One of those for a week. That's what I had to know. Yeah, so I went through the 10-day forecast. Finally, when I reached day 7, I just shut my Chromebook. Don't get me wrong, I kind of like cold every once in a while. But you put the wet with it, and it just takes something away. Like dryness. Well, I should say on the up, of course, it's for entertainment purposes only, and I heard you booing. The topic, as we all know, that do see me, is still going to be. I'm going to have to kill a cat again. Social Woodstock, meaning anything and everything. Peace, love, peace and love. That's all it is. Maybe an occasional argument. I don't know. I think some people have been thinking I would give up. I didn't say I had 2 million out there. I never said I had 2. Oh, my cat just attacked me under my bar stool. Yes, that's Pixie. She's our youngest. And she thinks she won't need a bath. You better get on out of here. Keep going. There she goes. She got a shower this morning, and I have only one finger that's bleeding. When they're kittens, even still though they're kittens, they're almost full size. She's like this long. I'm not kidding. She's the one whose eye I saved, and subsequently her life. She stepped into my hand. She was this one. So yeah, she's getting even with that for now. So they don't like the vets. They come take it out on me. Daddy can do no wrong, as we say. But yeah, they come back at me full force. Did you want me? I mean, yeah, one of my moods. I couldn't believe the weather. The weird thing about it is because I looked it up last night. No rain. Might be a little this or that by 8 o'clock last night. I opened the door to feed the outdoor cats. And of course, it's pouring down rain. And yes, I still feed them and water them if it's snowing, if it's ice, if it's hail, I don't care. It's like I'm the mailman for those guys. They don't have anyone else that will help them still. I didn't see too much of anything of interest, really. I thought for a second I would because, the trial of Fanny Phony, whatever her blooming name is, Willis, the DA out of Fulton County, Atlanta. Well, apparently paid one attorney, the one she was having an affair with, or you could call it a relationship. It certainly cost him his marriage. Um, Besides the perjury that all 3 have committed on the stand, that would be her. The squeeze that she had, that she paid $1 million. Well, it was just under. It was only $900,060 960. So you can't make this stuff up. Well, it hit the fan yesterday and went viral on YouTube that they had the cell phone records. Now, I don't know who got what, when, where, why. I just know somebody released them. And of course, you can hear the commercials. I love this TV. You can really hear those if you put music on. Not so much. No, not so much. I think it just wants to see what my calisthenic last line is, and then we'll go there. And of course, as I've mentioned before, when I first started watching YouTube, there were no commercials. And then occasionally a 4-second commercial. We're up to about 1.5 minutes now. I figure we waited out, and we'd be worse than the ones that are using free TV. Oh, okay, let's try again. I know you didn't miss me, did you? Of course not. I've already heard the described in a nasty way, and myself included, I assume. I don't give a blooming blazes. I don't keep going. It is social Woodstock. I'm going to keep going. I keep hoping there's some out there with some interesting things to say or something they might want to see. I talk all the time to people that's my age, veterans in particular. I have to go again today. One of those stupid tests that they like to bill us for next week. Mm. And I'm like, yay. But I put it off once in January because the weather was just abysmal. And I just didn't want to go up there. It's 5 minutes from here, but I don't like to drive in inclement weather. And I don't drive at night because I don't, if I can't see far enough ahead of me, then it was time to hang out the keys. I'm not one of those who's going to keep doing this, in my Prius. Somebody bring my husband knows never bring the Prius. Set that sucker on fire. It looks like he and I need to take care of what vehicles we've got because of the way they're making the others, and there's all kinds of new regulations, and I don't know. It's like the fluoride in the water. It tells you do not swallow your toothpaste, and we're all good with the fluoride. Nobody looked up what that stuff is. It's poison. Let me show of hands. I already saw. No, I mean a serious poison. I mean, like a gram of fluoride could kill 400,000 people. Something in those odds. But they decided to add it to the water. I think it was in the 70s, might have been the 80s. I'm old. Look it up. And it's just not one city, it's everybody. So, and I've never liked the water. I couldn't get around that, even with the bottled water and all that. I couldn't get around how I just hated the water. Couldn't drink it. My husband used to say, she's just a freak. She'll drink and still be drinking milk. I mean, she doesn't do the sodas, and she certainly won't touch the water. And that's been pretty much since I left to join the army. And I used to drink out of a well before. They were so blue and crystal clear and ice cold. You just used to sit up against the, not up at the top and at the base, and just sit there and drink, dipper after dipper of water, and toss them on your head because it was always summertime. It's when they took the vacation. Um, my aunt's was the last place I had water from a well, and I just never since then I can't drink it, even hot. And I don't like the soda for well known reasons, I would think. I can see heavy wonder sometimes when I come in and murder, a root beer or a strawberry crush or something along that line. But to continue to drink them all day, I see people drinking nothing but soda all day is a bad thing. It's not good, so I find other things. So you can't drink the water. So, and right now I'm out of water, but it's so ugly outside. I figure if we have to run uptown anyway to drop me for tests, and I was going to say he could just go on without me, but it's at 3:30 this afternoon at the VA, and it's a ghost town by 4. It really is a ghost town by 3:30. The pharmacy's still open, and apparently a few of the labs are still open to do these testings. Because I'm going to be all kinds of pissed off. I get up there and they ain't there. Friday or I don't care. Mm-mm. Have me out here in this mess. You were firing somebody. And then you could hear him in your head going, "Oh, you can go up to the hospital? Yeah, that's needed. Yeah, this test is a life or death thing, you idiot." They have more idiots working there than in most places I've ever seen. I mean, literal, I wouldn't hire them to stack boxes. Just saying. The people I hired were good and they were hardworking and they could think on their feet and they didn't have to have somebody on top of them all the time. That's a good employee. Yes, it takes a little bit of training to do that, but if they like the job and they want the job, it's a piece of cake. Always was for me, for my favorite places anyway. Can't say they were all my favorites, but I had to work second jobs. Those are, yeah, don't ask. So I did not get the T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, feel me? No, I don't do that shit. So I switched this morning. I went through my little things, um, Was already upset because of the weather. Thought I had to be up there at 2. Got ready by 8. I detest being late. And as anyone that knows me will tell you, do not be late to me either. If you have something come up, use your phone. Everybody's got one in their hand. It's like they surgically placed it in your. Everybody's walking around like this, and they wonder why they walk off and manhole covers are moved. Funny. I haven't seen that lately, but that just still cracks me up. As far as it annoys me and it makes me nervous when I'm out driving during the day, and I tend to go between say 9 to 11 because the rest of the time on Bel Air, which is the main street that I have to go up to in, out, back, around, down, and so it's one street. But it's a busy street. It's like 8 lane street or whatever. It's like crap. I got to get on Bel Air. They took all my good places away. I mean, it's so bad. Even my husband knows that I really hate driving because he knew I love the Grovetown Walmart. Because of course, whatever I was buying, besides I was going to go through the ladies department. Oh, they was taking me by in the last few years, and I said I'd fire the buyer for whoever's doing women's because you couldn't even find a decent pair of house shoes in there. And the one that's the closest to me, you can find groceries in. Most of the time, there's just not going to be a very big variety, but you get some groceries. That's that place I told you those roasts were like $4,800. I mean, like leave your kidney at the door thing. I swear to God. I mean, my list went from like notebook paper down to a post-it note. It's beyond belief. And I've always been sorry that I stopped being a vegan and started eating meat. And it's because my son was older. He wanted hamburgers. I was dating a new young man who's so married to me, bless his soul. And so I have a lot of trouble with cooking. I was always too busy to cook. It was always, if maybe, so I mean, skillet dinners came out like in the late 80s, 90s, something like that. I remember the first frozen foods. I mean, oh my God. It should have been criminal to sell those suckers. Look it up. You'll find some black and white reels with them. Oh my God, they were terrible. Mm-mm. I had sea rations in boot camp, and those are old. Those guys get back to, I believe, World War II. Maybe just the Korean War, but they go back a ways. I'd rather have those. And believe me, when you're hungry like that, you're not tasting nothing. You're just done. You don't want that first sergeant or a drill sergeant or no blooming body to walk up on you and ask you why you're still sitting on your cans. It was up and never let go of that weapon, never. So, I mean, you'd think I wouldn't be picky, but that's some time ago. I'm picky now. I can't be. It's been a long time since I had to worry about weight. So I suppose it shouldn't be too bad. I'll be in my 60s coming up in August, somewhere in there. I mean, the 60s part. I lie. I'm really 42. It's just been a hard life. Still here for entertainment purposes only. Mm. Well, we've covered some of this thing politics, the paranormal, which was fun, I gotta admit. I recommend Dark Ghost. I really do. The other one is Nerve, NERV something. Mm. But I have some of my chocolate here. He's crazy. I know he said he's 3 times. I couldn't spit out a word that described this young man. It's just nuts. He does not cut and run. I mean, they're picking him up in the air, swaying his limbs. They're picking him up and then throwing him across the room, and you can't miss because there's 4 cameras. I mean, you see the stuff from every angle, but you ain't nothing there. And he's flying around rooms. I've seen him take out the chimneys, an entire house that was fairly nice. In just 1 hour of his shooting, nothing was standing in there. Everything that was glass was broken. I mean, And this guy stayed. He stayed. I mean, his lights wouldn't work half the time. The cameras were going out. He stuck it out. And I'm yelling run like 100 times. But yeah, check him out, Dark Ghost. He's got several good ones on if you like those. So tell me, and I'll drop a link in for you. I've got live chat up again. Again, I think I'm too early to catch the hippies and the baby boomers and those of us who finally got to retire. We give you all that unemployment money just in case you didn't get enough already from the taxes. Yeah, I think he's right. I probably would have been shot had I stayed in DC. Oh, I'm so thirsty. And I've run out of water, so I couldn't make coffee this morning. And it's 48, which is very unusual, really, for this time of year for Georgia. Mm. So I threw the share. Yes, I threw a sweater on, which means I can be in and out and through and back out. That's the reason I like the 3:30. And actually, if we're talking about primary care at VA, like my women's clinic, they don't take nothing after 3. I don't care. They'll actually look at you and you go, "Well, can I see you instead?" No, go to the hospital and go to the ER. It's good to be the king. I know I've been there, done that. That's what they tell you. Now the pharmacy is supposed to be open until 5. I haven't seen that yet. And I have seen the VA close around me. Holding on finally to some, we're going to just send them down there. And I'm like, okay, I go down there. The funny thing is, here it is. I mean, it's deserted. You finally get over to pharmacy and they accommodate maybe say, well, before the pandemic, 50. I guess afterwards, be about 25. There's a screen in front of you. There's a tinier screen for the TV. And then there's another littler screen that's got a number, A such and such, B such and such with the name. And you get in there, ain't nobody there but you. Somebody's in the back still. You can see them through the little window, which is bulletproof, and they slide a metal drawer to you. So apparently there have been things I'm going to have to hurt you. See, you think I won't? And she squint at you. Get off of there. She does it every time. This is the only time, thank you, Lord, that she's at the. It's another reason I can't let her get used to doing it. Maybe more of that. It's more than I'm supposed to have. So, that's always fine. You have to go in and you have to go get your little ticket. Ain't nobody there. No other patient is in there. You got to get your ticket. And then they call you eventually that's why it says A, to this window so they can go, well, you're supposed to get this, and this is what this does. I've been going there 11 years. I used to put this together. I don't need you or them for that matter to explain it to me. And if I'm still confused, I can Google the hell out of it. I mean, it's just annoying. You're like done, and there's no one there. You're going to see 4 people to get your script. And each one's going to make you wait because they're going to eke it out. Like I said, it's supposed to close at 5. I mean, horse hockey. They might be there, but they're not on until 5. So you sit down and you wait some longer and you wait. If you're lucky, you only have to wait 30 minutes, 15 from the first window to the second window. When they go, okay, we got to fill this. What was you doing last night? How many was that? It's just crazy. I mean, when they have that many. Now, Pixie, that's enough. Get over there, sit down. Go on. Oh, he's in your thingy. Okay, you can stay on the chair. Tommy's in her bed. You can stay in the chair, but you can't keep running. I'm just talking to the cat up here. I'm really not doing a podcast. No wonder one of my relatives described it that way. Yes, you get down into this one. There you go. Okay, she's going to take the other bar stool. And at that point, I say I had groceries, some more groceries I was going to get. I definitely have to have a bag of fat. We get the 30-pound bag of cat food because they don't sell a bigger one. And again, with Purina or any of those, you can call them and you can donate. That's it. They don't tell you anything else. Hey! Hey! Sometimes I wonder if I've just arrived in Cat World and they're all little gods because since Robert did the house, we have yet to put back the photos. And they keep sharpening their claws on the box, which has harmed several of the frames. Now, now that we're retired and we're off, I'm still listening to that. And, excuse me again, I'm going to make you believe if you don't get past that shit. I'm sorry, folks, that I was only so much I'm willing to put up with today. And that's not one of them. Nuts. No wonder. I mean, it's like I'd turn off on mine if it was me too. Oh, lady's crazy. Is she a Karen? I mean, at this rate, I'm applying for the position. Yeah, just need security or nothing. Bail money a couple of times. So I get to go up there and do that with a bunch of people who are just like slap stupid. Like I said, there's one person in your pharmacy. You make them wait a half hour. For what? When there's 700 people standing here and in the hallway and down the spillway, I still don't wait 10 minutes. Of course, you don't say that because you know it's going to take even longer if you say something or if they think that you're in a hurry. So I'm a pacer. So I probably hate myself because I'm pacing up and down, waiting because I could leave. I'm only 5 minutes from the house. A lot of them are driving 2-3 hour drives, and actually, recommenced you for their gas money. So they're actually probably making a lot. Might be able to go out to eat this month. It's just, you know, and being 5 minutes away, they'll say, "Oh, you've got to have labs done." I say, "Okay, well, I'll come back up and get them." So you get there, labs opens at 7. Well, 7:30. The other one's open at 8. So there's a half-hour difference. Anyway, you get up there, you get your ticket. So you're A76. You're looking around. The other 45. Yeah, get that ticket though. So you're standing in a hallway, waiting for somebody to come in, open the door, take your ticket, which isn't always easy. And I'm noticing I'm glitching here a little bit if I move, so I try not to. In any event, yeah, that's always fun. And finally, they'll come along about 7:45, and they'll be ugly to you. You just wait there until we open. So you stand there another 10 minutes, and there comes 3 or 4 or 5 more folk. Turns out they have tickets ahead of you, but they didn't stand in the hall. So you've already been from first to 12. So you got to go in. You got to. At used to they would scan your code. I mean, yeah, your barcode for them. Now you got to go in and scan your own barcode. Well, they go, no, not that way. A little bit under, a little bit further. Oh, do it over here. And I looked at one time, and she must have known I was about to cut her. She said, "Just let me." Again, she got an eyebrow raise. She'd have got it the third time. Somebody would have needed bill money for me. Yeah. I don't take crap like that from me. Nobody needs to deal with that kind of crap. Your job consists of answering the phone and putting the name and the date of the veteran that they're going to see. The fuck? Excuse my French. That's not a job. I could train a monkey to do that. I bet there are already monkeys that are better than she is. I mean, but then you're a Karen if you say something like that. Why don't we have Karens that do stupid shit like that? Anybody? Yeah, I think so. Uh huh. Yeah. Well, part of my disability was denied. I, for the first time, had tried to at least get my knee covered because I'd shattered it in boot camp. The Matella, anyway, the knee. And all these years I've just put up with it. And I didn't even use the VA for healthcare until the last 15, I think, somewhere around it. I mean, I had just started going back to them when we moved here. And so, it's getting where I have to use a cane and stuff. And somebody I knew said, well, you need to file for your disability for being injured. And I was like, well, I didn't know I could do that, because I'm honorably discharged. I didn't leave on a medical. They said, yeah, that's what I did too, but you've been hurt and it showed up later. And I'm like, so in any event, I said, oh, okay. So I did what he said, and they gave me a pass that said she don't have what she needs. And they sent me around to these guys where I needed 10 years of records or what have you. So those go in, and I've got a laptop here that is like a suitcase with the bar and everything. So I've got all that, and then they give me a date with the doctor, and I go over there, and they don't need it. And she is one of the, I'd say Karen, but she was more condescending than even any of the Karens. And I've looked at a couple. She was a condescending witch, uh, completely ugly, arrogant. I mean, I can't really find a good adjective to fit her because she was so awful. And at my point, she had had me do a movement and then do another movement. I'm thinking it's not my back. Yeah, I'm here for my leg. My back got injured in the early 90s, but I know what happened here. So whereas, well, how hard did you hit the rock? She actually asked me how hard I hit a rock. I'm diving into submarine fire and trying not to shoot my buddy. How hard do you think I was going down? That's your job. Well, of course, they dismissed my disability claim on that, which I knew they were the minute I left. I mean, because she was so awful. She was just awful. It's a shame because she might be second wave, second generation. She or her parents were from India, and I love I love India, even though it's way overcrowded. But I never met one so arrogant or like that, and dismissive. Again, I don't have a whole lot of adjectives for that, so I just found that out yesterday, which again did not surprise me. Oh, see, here we go. We got a 30-second commercial. We've had two songs for the rate of 7 minutes and a half. And we are one, two. I'm just going to have to start turning my stereo on in order to get through. But they don't want you to have a stereo. They want you to put on, if you have one, you're supposed to go through Sirius XM. What? They got to get it on the money because, of course, all the TV was free once, too, as everybody forgot. I haven't. I haven't forgotten. And it should be free now. And at the very least, um, I don't want their equipment. I'd rather why don't y'all just open a store and let's buy the equipment we have to use. Works for all these different computers. You guys have been replacing these for 400 years. I don't know what do you want from us? I think what's going on here is when I get some kind of a note, or if anybody pulls up into my live chat, it makes it glitch. Again, I'm new at all of this, as you can probably tell, since I can't seem to light on any subject because there's either a cat or a husband that's going to screw with me while I'm up here screwing with you. And so you can't make this crap up. The Sahara is blowing water out of every sand dune. I don't know how many volcanoes going off, and they're waiting on Yellowstone. That ought to be fun. Half the U.S. just crater time. Yeah, that's interesting. Maui burned nearly to the island's ground. I mean, come on. What is going on? Then it floods out in California where they have to, from what I understood anyway, may not be true, that they had to water rescue Ellen DeGeneres from her home. And I'm like, Lord above, I mean, what's next? Locusts? I mean, because the Muslims got locusts when they hit the Kabbalah in Mecca, the holiest city for Muslims, Arabs. Uh, I mean, they didn't just have a storm. Right? Mind you, it's desert. They might get 3 or 4 inches of rain a year and be glad they got that. It's a desert. I mean, a big desert. Look it up. It's huge. I mean, it's a huge desert. Not anymore. I mean, Mecca flooded, and you know they weren't ready for that shit. Okay, I saw camels floating. That was the day right there. I said, no, I will never ever get it. I'm never going to see everything on this planet. And see, I'm glitching if I move a little bit. I see, not always, but I'm wondering if that's because last time I put one in the camp, and I've been noticing the face freeze too, a little bit on my side, which is probably better on your side than it is on mine. I would do one of my stiffeners, but I'm going to do that when I get home tonight. I hope to God won't be too much past 4 o'clock. So again, I shouldn't have to wait. Everybody should be gone, and it's a small test and shouldn't take too long. I hope not. So there's my day in a nutshell. That's another one. Troy Smith. He does something different, though. His is biblical, but he's an entertaining young man, and he has beautiful books that he likes to point out will look good on your coffee table, and they would. I think he's very good. I think he's done a lot of research into biblical things. He was so excited. You know, they think they found Sodom and Gomorrah. I watched a program last night, made me go to sleep almost because they were talking about were Sodom and Gomorrah a real city, and I'm like, do you people even have a TV? A phone? Yes, they think they found them. In particular, he was where I think he was in Sodom, and they everywhere riddled across these like white sand cliffs, but they weren't sand. I can't remember what they called the stone, but you could get balls, literally balls of soap, just pure sulfur out. I mean, some were golf balls, some were like, I mean, it was the wickedest thing I have ever seen, and other than the footprints next to the dinosaur prints in San Antonio, those two, what you're just like, I mean, just at some point your mind goes, nah, I'm not screwing with that. You crazy. My mind knows when to shut me down. I swear to God. I actually saw a show, and nobody seems to have seen it but me, called Herman's Head. And this was a guy who's, just having a regular old time. I'm pretty sure this was the 80s. And inside of his head, if it was humor, it was the girl. If it was anger, it was this like biker dude. You know what I'm saying? If it was love, it was this guy walking around carrying roses and a champagne glass. Or whatever. It was just, like that. Um, and so half the time, I think there might be, and yeah, they're probably going to put me in a straight jacket at some point. As long as they give me good drugs, I'd probably be okay with that. I will work as hard. Yeah, I'm in one of those moods. So I wish to gods one of you guys would drop in my chat. I got two, and okay, and I'm getting some friend requests. That I am just filling up on my friend request cards. Guys, you don't have to go through all that. All you have to do is just hit that subscriber bell, and then you'll know it'll hit you with a quick note that I'm on now live. Or even later, it'll tell you I was on live, and then you'll know to just pull uh, YouTube, and you'll be okay. It'll be either right there, and someone I know said, or you can hit search. And remember that hippies, I'm true hippie. We spelled them with a Y. Apparently now they spell them IE. So at least that part differentiates me from uh, others who are like 23. And I think it's a little too old for hippie. I'm not sure. Uh, yes, I'm being a smart ass. It seems to be where I want to go today. So, other than a few other things, and believe me, I don't want to go do those things, but it's just get it over with. They actually called me this time. It's like, you haven't had this test run? Yeah. Yeah? Are you done? I'm not pleasant sometimes. I try to be because that was what my adopted mother was really in. I was manners and treating people right. So I do my best. That may not be what I need all the time. Maybe my best would be left alone. Especially like today, I haven't had any coffee, which reminds me, I have had a little hot chocolate. Uh, that helps a little bit. If I were going to the downtown location, Robert would just buy me a hot chocolate there. It's right as you come in and right as you go out to valet parking. And when I'm downtown, I get valet parking. This is another thing I love. I get out, I get my key. I don't even have to give my key. I just leave it in there. But they give you a little number and you go on in, you get your stuff done, and you come back and give them the number and then get back in your car. I like that. When we go to the women's clinic or the uptown location, as they like to say, you got to drive. Now they have two sides that have parking, but this is a big complex. And they're like named Drum and Alpha, whatever. So you got to remember that name because you're parked 4 miles to the left of the facility. So I have learned over the years, if you go out there at 8 a.m., which is when they open, yeah, you're going to have to walk 4 or 5 miles to get there and park in somebody's driveway that you don't even know in a subdivision you hope you can find again. So then by 10 o'clock, it was like, still really, really busy. To drive around. You find one, but you drive around, drive around, drive around, drive around. So it's like, okay. So at noon, well, you could get in there, but not very well. Again, you have to drive around. Now, employee parking was empty because it was lunch. So from you can't make it up. So like from 11 to 2, you could pick your spot if you worked there. Meanwhile, the others are stuck there because they didn't get to them before they dipped. And then you got the other ones who came out like me, and they're stuck there because, well, they dipped before we got there. So I keep getting, later in the day. And then I thought, okay, 1:30 is a good time. No, no, they're in a hurry by 1:30. They want to get the flock out of Dodge. So by 1:30, they're passing you with three other patients, and it takes them forever to get back through the hallway, back down to yours, which was, yeah, we're going to change your prescription to this, and bye-bye. Register up there. We need to see you get in however many minutes. So what took 3 minutes with the doctor, you had, and I see a lot of people are coming up in their pajamas. You won't catch me, period, in pajamas. They don't like it when I'm in the hospital because I won't wear their whatever those are. Come on. Why can't you do things with some taste, folks? I mean, and on top of that, Velcro works. You can tie that stupid little gown on if they're kind enough to give you that instead of the paper one, which that doesn't happen. Then, you're back here trying to tie it for 4 hours and they're just not, they're quietly waiting to see if you're dead and you don't come out or I don't know what, but they don't check on you. So you just wrapping around hold it. All right, now what? You might be in it for 4 or 5 minutes. Again, you'd think they would find something a lot easier. I can see maybe open hospital gowns on patients, although I really can't see why. Maybe before there was a lot more metal in clothing, but there's a lot of clothing now. You don't have to wear any metal, period. And they could invent gowns and things like that to use at hospitals. In other words, moving in the 21st century, you idiots. And it just annoys me like crazy when they do that to me. Take off all your jewelry, take off all your, this is why. Well, we need you to lock all that up. Why, you going to take it off my fingers while I'm still here awake? Try it. Make my day. So, yeah, I'm all kinds of cranky. Robert actually ran in and made me breakfast trying to get the cranky down. Almost worked, but not quite. I think I do just depend on my coffee and my milk more than I say. My coffee almost halfway through the day, and then I go to chocolate milk, which I make my own chocolate. My grandson says, "Grandma, that's not chocolate milk. That's milk with a little tiny bit of chocolate." Look at it like it's going to, just splash you or something. And so on top of that, I have all this stuff to do. Rainy, like I said, check the forecast. Like I said, gave up its 7 days. It's all I needed to know. It's going to be freaking ugly. So, and I don't like that because I don't travel. That was the other thing I was trying to say. I don't. Robert even says, it's raining. I'll take you because I was just originally going to say, well, I'll just go ahead and do it. If he's usually at home, he'll go ahead and just run me in there. And it's actually better for me because in weather like this, I had a bad accident in it, and so I'm always a mess anyway. So by the time I get there, if he's driving, my blood pressure won't be 220 over 70, which it was one day, and they tried to throw me in the ER. Said, but you're a walking heart attack. Okay, be fast. Yeah, put me in a hospital. I'll take your pills if I find something better. So far, I haven't been able to. It's the melatonin, serotonin medication that I'm on. A lot of people, and myself included, would have avoided those, and I did for several years. And then the pain got so bad. That's all I could think of. I couldn't do anything. And you couldn't cry. That'd make your head feel worse, along with the pain in your back. And the problem with a back problem is it's hard to pin down. And it's sometimes you will get doctors or aides and they act like they'll talk down to you like you're just in there because you want to get free medication or some crap. But they're not kind about it. I'll put it that way. Finally, one of my doctors, after I'd been gone a couple of years and was doing it holistically, it just kept building and building. So finally I had to break, cut and run and go. What I wanted to know, I don't want the medication, or if necessary I see, but I want to know what's causing the problem. Maybe I could stop that. Well, they couldn't check that out either, and they never found out anything. And dear God, there can't be. That's getting too stupid. We'll give it back. That's getting too expensive to take 400 tests, and they still say, well, we're not catching anything. The last doctor just retired of mine that I've had since I was here, so she'd be my second doctor. And now I'm with Dr. Powell, and she's a tiny little thing, and she's my third, and she's the rudest. It was Dr. Dunn, my second doctor, who finally diagnosed me correctly and said, she's having seizures because of the breakdown of this. I lost sight of what she was saying when I heard seizures, and it was like crap. And doing it to myself kind of thing. So that was helpful. And she put me on the Lyrica, which before they had sent me to have my arthritis checked, and they had put me on the Lyrica. And it's called gabapentin. It's the generic brand. Um, they didn't like me because I said that it was totally different than the name brand. I don't know if that's true, but it just was different. It worked right. And the VA itself would not prescribe Lyrica. So when I went back a couple of years ago, they did prescribe Lyrica. Took them 4 months to put me on it. And I even asked her, why didn't you put me on this 4 months ago? Because I've been in agony. That's what drove me back. And you knew I was in agony. Well, we had to get the steroids and all that right. I'm like, they made me suffer for 4 months for no reason, just because they could. Just because they could. I mean, and you can go against it all you want. They're going to cover each other's butts, so there's just no point. So, but I managed to get through. But I don't want to do it again. I'll tell you. Um, this prescription is a non-narcotic. It's not narcotic. You can drive. You can do everything you have to do. You can't tell it's working except the pain. It goes from a 15 to about a 3, and that's manageable. It's kind of like a fairly bad headache all the time, but you can function. You're in a little pain, but you can function. But it bothers me because it messes with the serotonin and the melatonin, and I don't like that. At the same time, I couldn't take the pain anymore. So, and I'm trying to get. I've got to get this new book that's come out on herbs and stuff. The one I have is pretty old, but I'd like to start making my own tinctures at least again for pain. Dandelion, a few other herbs. You can cut them up and render them, cook them down, and put them in a little bottle and let them set some more, and put them in a different one. And it's called a tincture. You keep breaking it down. And I know a few, and cattails is one, and dandelion, and there's several that can be used as pain medications. I got a story that I heard that I just was gobsmacked. If anybody out there knows this or has an opinion on this, please set it in the comments for me. I heard this morning surfing YouTube. Did you? And this is how they came out with it. Did you know that this pharmaceutical company in Germany asked for 150 women from the prison camp to do random tests on about a new medication? And they got a letter back saying that the experiment, or what, I can't figure out which word. I don't think they said experiment. The drug trials. I can't remember which way they phrased that, but it was. They are coming right along. However, we will need another 150 women prisoners. The first 150 died. That company is now called Bayer. 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 Yeah. Still in business. Billionaires beyond that. But they sure had some prisoners to experiment on to see which one of them drugs really wouldn't help, but would help you enough to get your way through it. There's stuff they could have cured decades and decades ago. There's no money in a cure. It's like Marcus Welby, MD. For my generation, they should know who that is. Everybody else, Google it. You know, you had an MD, a medical doctor. That's what MD stands for. So you had a medical doctor. So you went to them. Okay. And sometimes they would come to you. We actually had house. And they would tell you, one doctor would tell you what was wrong and give you a prescription for it. And you would get it all filled at the pharmacy. But you didn't have to go to 15 doctors and get 12 medications. You didn't have to do that because that one guy or girl, although there were fewer then. And I have taught at UTHSC. I taught at Academy of Health Sciences at Fort Sam. Not taught per se, done the tests that they didn't know somebody like me was doing that, and grading them. I couldn't believe the curve they had on. And that was just an interesting story that I wanted to share. And that's another reason I'd like to throw out, and I'll try to put it in the comments later, but there is a lady that has an herbal recipe book. And if you listen to the commercial for it, you'll know you can make tinctures is an unusual word. So if they say that, it's probably the same book. But I'll see if I can't add it in the comments. And I keep forgetting these things. But I served in Germany during my military career. And there's some great people in Germany. Yeah, there are some very good people. And like any other place, there's rude people, there's mean people, there's outright I hate you people. When it wasn't that far past the war, and my father had just died, he was a World War IIer. There was some World War IIers still alive at the turn of the century, so they didn't all just kick off in the 70s, but these are the ones that were young when they went in and managed to get through it. They don't talk about it. My cousins went to Nam. They didn't talk about it. My husband's father went to Korea. They didn't talk about it. They don't talk about it. I talk as much as I can about life. Because I was supposed to be a WAC and turned out to be regular Army. We were the first company women to go and be trained as regular Army. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had airborne drill sergeants, airborne rangers, drill sergeants, and they were fun. Oh yeah, they didn't want women in the Army, and then they got a different respect when they found out they couldn't break us. Believe me, you can get in there. Of course, I used to tell the girls that I had the most ranks, so whenever they screwed up, they got me. I would put it that way. It was like I used to tell them if they screwed up, I'd shoot them first. You're gonna die of friendly fire. I fell. Oops. I didn't lose any of the girls. We did lose several of the men, which that was another funny thing. You had to get those shots, and they had just come out with this. I don't know, Now, they're compression type guns anyway. It's not, a syringe. It's a gun. And it's got this like hydraulic thing. You hose on it, and they're going down the rows, and and about every fifth boy would just wimp. But you couldn't laugh. You were in attention. So you couldn't laugh. But it was still funny as hell. And inside my head, I'm like, oh God, I'm going to slip. I'm going to laugh. And I figured one of the girls, at least, of my company, the Bravo company was the only company of women in that battalion. There was a company in each battalion. And we were Bravo 3rd. So we were Bravo Company 3rd Battalion. And so, yeah. But no, we didn't lose any of the girls. I thought that was wild, too. But, yeah. And seeing grown men cry when their hair was cut, that was just fantastic. There was just little things that stand in your mind about those things. And how all the clothes fell off of most of us girls because we weren't men. So they had to get everything new. Most women don't wear a size 15. It was all so funny. And it was a lot of fun. And now we have women fighter pilots. So I think we did a good job, ladies. Just in case you forget about us. Maybe somebody in 40 years will look at this and say, this woman, who is she talking to? I'm still going to be here all week. But I'm about to let y'all off the hook. I still need you to like, share, ring the bell, put something in comments. Even if you don't agree with me, especially if you don't agree with me, I have fun with you there. Come in and sit down. Who says it won't be fun? Right now I'm still not doing a podcast guest yet. It's not like Joe Rogan is coming to my house, guys, okay? I mean, I know it's the Masters Week coming up, but I don't think Tiger Woods is going to pop in here and talk to y'all. But we'll see what we can do with some other people. It doesn't always have to be a celebrity, because they weren't always celebrities. And even if they might be celebrities now, they still put their pant leg on one leg at a time. I'm not, what's the word be? I'm just not impressed. Now, Keanu Reeves, I like Keanu Reeves. That one impresses me. Not his acting. Not his acting. His see, I can't talk today at all. Just how he gives back to the community, as I like to say. There's a word for it, but I can't get it to spit out. And no, I have not had stiffener today. I'm just not feeling that good. So I got to make sure I have a mask and not sneeze on anybody at 20 minutes. I'm hoping to be at the VA. Because I finally whittled it down and figured out that between 2:30 and 3:30 is the best time to hit them, because you get them as everybody else is getting off. So they want to get your butt in and out. There's different types of divisions that stay open a little longer, like the pharmacy stays open until 5. They make you wait, but they're open. You veterans will know what I mean if you were able to sit through the video. Again, like, please, give it the program. Sometimes I just check out of reality when I come up here and I think, what is entertainment? Cat Williams is entertainment. It's been kind of fun watching that Fannie Willis. You think somebody's going to get the crap, right? First, I thought it was going to be the Clintons, when the S&A banks all folded, savings and loans banks all folded, and all of them defaulted. Nobody said they were too big to bail out. That was under the Clintons. And I think, they're going to get some falling. No, they gave a second term. Because you just can't make this stuff up. There's some crazy crap going on in the world. I mean, like I said about Mecca, they got the tornadic like winds and rain, and it flooded, and the locusts came. And you're living in what to them is their holiest city. Mecca or Jerusalem is the Jewish people's home and their most holy site. We'll put it that way. I'd have some questions though, because that's the Hajj. Everybody's expected to go at least one time in their life to the Hajj, and I love it from the air because the way they all go in that circle. It's just wild to see. And so many people that believe in the same thing. I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. You know, they could be buying plants with that stuff. They got oil. Osteen, Joel Osteen, yeah, he's got a couple of plants, from what I understand. He wears suits I could work my life for and still probably only be able to afford the jacket. At one point, do his parishioners go, I paid for that? They got to be able to do that once. You know, you got billions of us lying in the streets, served our countries. And what did they do? Those who are here illegally are in hotels with cards that they add money to, with food. It's plant-based prebiotic fiber. Nourishes good bacteria in your gut, working with your body to promote digestive health. Yeah, it leaves me speechless. It really does. Because the things I really, really want to say are probably against FCC regulations. So I'll let y'all finish that thought for me. I've told y'all it's for entertainment purposes, and I hope you were entertained. It only seems to entertain me. It's kind of laughable if I see myself on the big screen. I'm like, oh my God, is this one nobody likes mine? I'm not, I got thick skin. I would love to hear from you. Y'all mean a great deal to me, even though you're not here yet. I'm not holding out luck that you won't ever come. I'm holding out hope that you will come eventually. That, like by parking at the VA, I'll figure out when I'm supposed to be in my best time spot. This is what I was going to do when I got home tonight, but I knew there's so many other things that have to be done. And before you know it, it's 10:30. So this is why I chose an earlier time. But it's not picking up as much as I wanted it to. And I've asked friends and family members, I think I said that before, to do, to at least subscribe or hit a like once in a while. But I don't think they use YouTube much. And so I try to drop it in Facebook. But if you're not like looking at Facebook or you're not paging down a lot, there's a lot of posts in there. So I don't get lost in the days, as stuff goes down, down, down. So I'm trying to combat both of those problems. I never said I was a genius, okay? I mean, I'm trying. I don't have a production unit behind me with the boom mic. I got the boom mic my husband put in for me. I'm still at the bar because my studio upstairs is not ready. It's either too cold, it's too wet, or both, or no time, or I don't feel up to it because I have to have everything out of that room as well. So the carpet can be pulled out and so forth. So these aren't easy tasks. I wanted, at first I'm going to have to go wade through the detritus and get rid of 3/4 of it. Then I can maybe get the rest out. I'm not sure why we're starting to hoard at our age, but I don't like it. So I've got to change that picture. I see again, I have to go. I'm hoping you guys surprise me and pop out there and throw some comments and some likes in for me. And who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll get lucky and I'll get somebody on live chat. I am dying to get you guys on live chat. I haven't tried that not yet. And I don't want to ask friends and family to do that because, well, I shouldn't have to ask. Nope. But I'm not going away. And I hope you aren't either. And on that note, toodles.